Strive 365 all the way live. Welcome to the first ever peakcast by yours, Hassan Rahim. So this is our first ever episode, and I'm really excited to do this. I work for Strive 365 and Peak Team. I'm here with my amazing co-host, the great JP.
Hey, thanks Hassan for the intro, and congrats on the first episode. We finally got this show kicked off. Just a little bit about me, JP Kittle Casey. I'm the Milwaukee manager of Strive 365 and Peak Team, overseeing many of the programs in the area. Some partners that we work with and nonprofits are Malika Early Learning Center, Milwaukee Academy of Sciences, the Hmong American Peace Academy.
Shout out to Anthony McHenry from MAS.
Brown Deer High School, Brown Deer School District, and lastly, Milwaukee Tennis Education Foundation. And the reason why I name all these programs is what we do as an organization. We work with schools and partner with them to work with kids and how to help them deal with trauma and stress. So we're a trauma-informed, social-emotional learning organization.
And we're using sports as one of our biggest vehicles. As we all know, most people are sports fans. Sports have really been a big part of our lives for everyone on Strive 365. JP kind of left out an important part of his life. He's also the men's and women's tennis coach at Hapa. Congrats on that.
Man, thank you. He put me on blast like that. But yes, I'm looking forward to being the Hapa's tennis coach for the women this fall. And we're going to start it off to a good year. So appreciate it. Thanks for the shout out, son.
So today, man, we got the founder and the creator of Strive 365 and Peak Team. None other than Dr. Brandon J. Currie. So, Brandon, how does it feel to be our first ever guest on the peakcast?
Well, I'd like to say thank you for the wonderful intro, Hassan and JP. Appreciate you guys having me and inviting me here for the first episode. But very excited to do this. Very excited to share, how this all came about and our plan moving forward. And I think we got a lot of great things happening, and excited to share that with the audience.
So also, I'm going to talk about a lot of Dr. Currie's achievements. He's not going to talk about them himself, so I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Oh, man. Here we go.
So Brandon is Milwaukee's very own. He is a two-time state champion for men's tennis at Brown Deer, one of our partners, as JP said. That led Brandon ultimately going to Butler University, where I would argue he's one of the greatest athletes there, definitely the best tennis player there.
Let me jump in. He went on pro tour after Butler as well, so congrats on that. Not many people be able to do that.
Appreciate it.
How's your experience? Like, how was the pro tour? Like,
it's extremely challenging, but that's really what a lot of people play for when you get to that level. You want to put yourself against the best players in the world, and it's very tough competition, but definitely appreciated that opportunity.
Yeah, I played tennis in high school. I went to state, and I thought I was the best player coming into the state tournament, and I got smashed the first round. So, I give you a lot of kudos for that, for making it all the way there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's a struggle. I mean, even to make it to high school state championships is also a great accomplishment.
What about playing James Blake?
Oh,
how was
man.
that?
We'll talk about that later.
We'll save that for a different episode.
It was a good experience. I think I represented myself well, but at the same time, I didn't win, so I got to get that rematch. But like you said, we'll save that one because I'm definitely gonna get that rematch.
Definitely.
All right.
So then Brandon went on to go to become a high school and middle school counselor, which I think was a pretty important part of his life, and that led him to getting a PhD in urban education.
Yep.
That's incredible, man. Getting a PhD is really tough. I'm getting right now my law degree, which is tough, but a PhD is on another level. All these things together have been so key in you creating what I'm most excited about is one of the most wonderful organizations of Strive 365. Can you kind of talk about how all of these things have meant a lot to you and how they incorporate into what you're trying to do for Strive 365, the Peak team?
Yeah, it's really just, I always come back to kind of the process of everything, how everything unfolds. You do certain things not really knowing what the outcome will be. So you just kind of follow a path that's in front of you. And, through athletics and my commitment towards kids and wanting to help people, as well as, I've always taken pride in education. I've always been a person that wants to learn more. That's what really pushed me to want to go towards or work towards getting my PhD, as well as continue to coach. One of the things that you do as a coach is you're always preaching the importance of education, the importance of building relationships and treating people a certain way. And I kind of have that mindset of being a person of action also. So if I'm going to ask somebody to do something, I also want to be a person that shows I'm doing the same thing I'm asking you to do.
I appreciate that a lot as you, when it comes to being a leader. As obviously JP is out there more in the trenches than I am. I try to come out there as much as I can. But Brandon, we really appreciate you as a leader coming out there and showing that you're also able to do it. I had a good experience with Brandon. This is something that I always remember and makes me really appreciate him. We were picking up trash and moving chairs, and Brandon, man, this guy's bag was full of more trash than you'd ever see.
Yeah, I mean it's you step up when help is needed, and regardless of if it's picking up trash or spending time talking to a family in need or a kid in need or anybody on our staff, that's just what we do. So I appreciate that, man. I'm getting all these compliments. I got to come on the show like every week now. So
We need him.
First question, people probably want to wonder like what the peakcast, but what is Peak Team? Who are they?
Yeah, a lot of people ask that, right? So what is Peak Gel? We are a trauma-informed program that allows programming to be modified according to what somebody or an organization is already doing. So we really have the ability to be fluid and attach our curriculum to whatever programming model we're partnered with at that time. So we kind of have this mindset of we come to you approach, where we can come to you, meet with you, build a partnership that's based around a lot of the values that you've already created, and our curriculum just enhances that and adds another layer of support to what's already being done.
And when you speak on the programs that already have the values we have, one that comes to my mind right off the bat is MAS. Obviously, all of them do, but MAS is just one of the first ones that comes to my mind. MAS fits perfect with us and all the other programs we're working with. I think they want the same things we want. They've been outstanding in the movements that we've been towards, and just being a big part of our success as well.
Definitely.
And just to add into that, just being in the trenches, we have programs in physical education and PE. We have programs in summer programs where we work with TEF, Milwaukee Tennis Education Foundation. And then we also have life skill programs that we have at Brown Deer High School, middle school as well. So we're kind of all over the place, and utilizing our programs to help kids deal with stress and trauma in their lives, whether it's in school or at home.
We want our reach to go as far as possible while still maintaining and making sure that we're efficient and that we're following through with our processes, as well as respecting what's already been built from our partners. And you mentioned Milwaukee Academy of Science, as well as HAPA, Brown Deer School District, MTEF, Malika. I mean, all of these partners have been great in regards to opening their doors, inviting us in, and working with us, because at the end of the day, the goal is to help these kids and help these families, which in turn helps the community. So the fact that we're on really the same page with creating change in the community, I mean, that's what it's all about. So everybody comes together.
It feels like we're all one big team,
Exactly.
striving for the same thing.
Exactly. And that that's really what it comes to as far as building a partnership and having a collaborative mindset to be able to get anything done. So, working together allows you to be more efficient and get a lot more done than trying to have your own silo and work in your own sector. I think we've done a great job in bridging those relationships. And it's one thing to create a relationship, it's another to maintain and keep it. And so far, I think that's one of the strengths that we've shown as an organization.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for sharing. Peak Team would not be who we are today without a curriculum and the planning of all of it. So what were some of the barriers to creating Peak Team?
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's something, there's other curriculum out there, but really we kind of started from scratch.
The one that you wrote, right?
Yeah, the one we wrote is great, and it wasn't just me. Credit to Rick Renucci as well, and then we also had Dr. Danielle Winston.
Some of our key members that we really appreciate.
Right, great partnerships. Rick Renucci and I have a very long friendship and relationship in regards to business as well as commitment towards helping people in the community. And so we had an opportunity to spend some time and really lay out how we wanted this curriculum to look. Also want to send a special thanks to Emily Burkope, as she was our designer for
phenomenal work so far.
Yeah, she did a great job with the Peak Team manual and the graphic designs of everything. So really want to thank her. But again, it's a collaborative effort. A lot of people involved with getting that done. And as you guys know, we're continuing to evolve and build more curriculum. We're planning on creating some books. We're planning on creating workbooks. We're planning on enhancing our curriculum and development. We're also creating an online platform where we'll be able to offer our curriculum and services to a larger group, pretty much across the nation, hopefully at some point.
So we're creating all these great resources, but why is there a need for Peak Team, or why is there a need for other trauma-informed programs to be implemented in the city of Milwaukee? What's the importance of that?
And I would say not even just in Milwaukee, but
right. all over,
yeah. But especially in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're starting here in Milwaukee. Obviously, for me, Milwaukee's where I was born and raised. There's obviously a high need here to offer support for underserved populations and groups struggling to deal with social emotional issues right now, and the challenges associated with things such as poverty. And again, it's not just Milwaukee, right? This is a problem seen across the nation and really across the world. So what we're trying to do, like I said earlier, is just really create a layer of support to step in and really create a sense of hope for people, as well as offer a platform for success where they're able to build their self-esteem, build their hope, and see that, the light at the end of the tunnel where, hey, I can create change in my life, and I have, different opportunities to make the right choices and change the eventual outcome of the way things have been going for me.
Yeah.
So, Brandon, one other thing I want to talk about, and JP, also I'd like for you to answer this question as well, and I'll give my answer as well. What's one word? We do this with every program we work with. How we start off our program is we throw around a tennis ball, and we ask each person participating what's one word that they associate with trauma. So I'm going to give my word first. My word is continuous. It's always going to be there. We're always going to fight through it. It's not that you can really just get rid of it one day. It's an everyday fight.
Yeah.
So, Brandon, what would be your word?
My word would be trauma is a reality. It's something that is very real. It's in front of us constantly. Even if it's not impacting you directly, it's impacting somebody close around you or somebody who you're involved with in some kind of way. And there's so many different forms of trauma that, as you said, Hassan, it is continuous. And so that's kind of why Peak Team and Strive 365 exist, to figure out ways that we can help alleviate and offer, different forms of solution to deal with just that.
My word would be, I'm looking from like me coming from MPS program, I'm walking public schools. I would say my word would be alert, just because students who have experienced trauma in their neighborhoods, they're always alert. They're always prepared to act instead of thinking and deciding and acting on their decisions. And so that'd be my word for just being aware of your surroundings all the time, being alert of.
Yeah, and that's a good point too. And to as I hear JP say that, being alert, it's a lot of people think, well, trauma doesn't impact me. Like nobody in my life close to me has trauma, and if not, great. But at some point, that may change. That may shift. And for instance, the times right now with the pandemic happening, I mean, that right there is already changing as everyone's lifestyle is completely different. Jobs are being lost. Timelines in regards to schools being closed and figuring out childcare and going to grocery stores.
Pretty much everything, honestly.
Yeah.
And
it's a huge shift, and that right there, that shift creates trauma.
And it's interesting you say that, both of you guys, because I'm from North Carolina. So when I first came to Milwaukee, it was a different lifestyle for me. And most people, when they just hear the word trauma, there's they don't think of so many different things that trauma could be. They just may associate trauma as something that, like a car accident happens or something like that. But trauma is so much deeper than we know. And I mean, it really affects your mental health, right?
Nonstop. It's, there are different forms, different triggers that can occur in somebody's life that takes them to a place, a brain alarm, where they have the fight, flight, or freeze reaction to that. And sometimes, a lot of people don't even understand how traumatized they were that they experienced trauma, right? It's just a way that they've always had to deal with life or deal with the different issues that they encounter, because they do it on a daily basis. So when that happens, it's this horrible situation, but because it's the norm in their life or in their household, they just assume that that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So it's gonna you kind of touched on it a little bit about, obviously everyone is going through this with the coronavirus, unfortunately. Very tough situation. It's not only happening here in Milwaukee, not just the state of Wisconsin, not just the United States. It's happening all over the world. Each day it's becoming more and more reality, and I mean, it's really impacting everything. So obviously, like we said, trauma is going to be there no matter what, right? So Brandon, I want you to really, really get into speaking on how our viewers and how just anyone who's suffering through trauma and the certain situations that they're going through, how can they fight this? Because I saw it was on CNN. There was something that came up, and there was a woman who sent a message that said she was in the hospital and she hasn't been able to see her doctor for her mental health. And that's reality. She's not able to see her doctor, and she's suffering through it. Unfortunately, we have a lot of kids that we were making stride and helping with, and now we're kind of backed. But fortunately not, because you gave a lot of new ideas that we're going to come out with. So I kind of want you to really dig into how Strive 365 and Peak Team is going to help in this situation, and just what your personal take is on how this is affecting and what we can do to make it a positive situation.
Yeah, we're in a very challenging and tough situation currently with the coronavirus. This pandemic is just completely devastated, not only us locally and nationally, but across the globe. So we're in a time now where, it's easy to look at a lot of the negatives, and there's a lot of questions that are still unanswered. So it's tough to think about where we'll be in the future. But really, I was like, maybe I should even shift my own mindset and say, this is also an opportunity. It's an opportunity to build relationships and, grow, create an opportunity of coming together, right? Where we're offering support to those we love and even those we don't know, right? Because people need help. So, when you're at home with family, instead of, I know we still live in an age of technology, but make sure you take time to actually talk and, maybe play board games and ask questions and tell stories and do things together as a family. I think those are the reasons why we have this opportunity. It's like, hey, let's take advantage of being forced to be in quarantine and away from other people. You're in your house. Make sure you spend time with one another. And speaking to technology, get on Zoom and or Skype or FaceTime and try to link up with people that you've had connections with and you haven't talked to in a while, and call people and just check in with people. I think when you can actually see somebody and put a name to a face and talk and really see the nonverbals attached with what's being said, I think that makes people feel more connected. And I think in times like this, we all need to really feel connected with the people we care about the most.
Right. And, I've been scrolling on Facebook. I see a lot of parents and teachers saying, like, what can we do for our kids when they're at home? Like, how can we keep them active or proactive on keeping them busy instead of just being on YouTube on their laptops? I'm asking all of us as a group, what kind of ideas do we have for these parents and teachers to kind of help them, educate their kids better or get more active?
Yeah, I mean, and it depends on the household and what you have available to you. But, I mean, obviously, we attach a lot of what we do to athletics, health, wellness. So I think even finding ways to remain active, if you have workout equipment at home or workout videos, to do that and maybe do it as a family, or even just going for a walk in your neighborhood if the weather's nice enough, or stretching. And I think another great thing to do is to practice mindfulness, where you're meditating and you're, maybe you put on music and you just close your eyes and you just try to just relax and think about positive things. I think those are some different options that you have in your household to kind of escape the moment and regroup and just say, okay, you know what, we're going to find a way through this and be together.
Yeah, I would say for me, I'm a avid basketball fan, love playing. It's been tough to stay inside. I'd say, man, get something that you guys can all inside play, like board games or challenge each other. Come up with some type of games where you can come up with trivia, where maybe I come up with a trivia to question JP and Brandon about the '96 Bulls. Or
you don't want this. You don't want to do that, Hassan. You don't
he's
want
my
this
basketball
trivia
skills. But one day we'll do it. We'll post one of these up where it's me and Brandon.
I got a trivia team, actually. Shout out to the Flaky Jakes. All we do is win, But no, like you're saying, I agree. I mean, it just depends on what you're into. Maybe you're into art. Maybe you're into reading, poetry. There's so many different options. It's a time now to really be creative
and connect with your family. Like
Exactly.
you said, Brandon, I really like that. There's a chance to connect with your family. I think this is a great time. I had a friend actually recently tell me that he had, I won't say the name. If he hears this, he knows who it's going to be. He recently told me that he had not the best relationship with his mom, and he was changing, and he's been inside the house, and he said it's really changed his relationship, and it's helped him grow as a person. Just talking to him a couple months ago versus this week, he sounded like a much different person. It sounds like he's fighting and growing up as a person because he's built a better relationship with his mom and his family. So
yeah, exactly. Just spending time with those people, and yeah, like it's up to the parents to be creative and to be as engaging as possible with their kids. And I'm saying, like, if you guys play board games, you guys can play checkers, create your own board on a sheet of paper, use pennies and coins to make the pieces. It could be as simple as that if you don't have resources. A way for a kid to kind of learn how to problem solve. You can do a our marshmallow tower, where all you need is marshmallows, spaghetti strings, things that could stick together, and you guys can kind of build the largest tower.
Yeah.
Different activities for that. Or you guys can even, if you guys got a backyard, you could create a big tic-tac-toe board and do like a tic-tac-toe relay. There's a variety of things, just being creative. If you guys, we do a game called Ice Cream Cone Catch at Malika Early Learning Center. And basically you have a ball and you got to toss it up and you got to clap your hands and you got to catch the ball. It's so simple, but at the same time you can add different things to make the game harder and harder, which keeps the kid engaged. And you can have a laundry basket and a soccer ball or whatever ball you have. I think at the end of the day, it's being how creative you are and just making sure they're
It's
engaged.
a challenging time, but you get to challenge yourself as well.
Yeah, I like to say too, at Strive 365, we're going to have we're currently working on our virtual platform where we'll be able to offer trainings and support virtually to partners as well as potential partners and members of the community. But we're also going to be posting different activities, some as JP described, that we use in our programming. And we will put that on our website, which is www.strive365.org. Again, that's www.strive365.org. So I think, take some time, check out our website. We also have links to other organizations that can offer support at both the local, state, and national level. And I'd also like to, send a special thanks to our staff. Obviously Hassan here, JP, Cody Hollowell, Paula, I see you, Z Lee, James, as well as all of our community partners. So we really appreciate you. And of course, I have to thank Tom Hervis and his family for their support and for believing in us to make this happen. So we'll continue to work to, make sure we meet the goals and objectives that we've set. But we really appreciate you and everything you've done for us, and just looking forward to the future.
And when you say that, Brandon, that's you brought me to my last question for you. Is we started here in Milwaukee, and I know you, and you're a big time visionist. You really look in the future and you say, I want this. And obviously you had to achieve the goals you did. I know you didn't just say, oh, you know what, I'll make the finals, but it's okay if I don't win them. I know you always want the championship. For Strive 365 and Peak Team, we've started off great. We're 3 months into it, and we've made a lot of achievements and we're making a lot of headway. But this isn't it. We want more. We definitely want more. We want to make an impact all over. What is your overall plan, and what's your goals for Strive 365 and Peak Team? Where do you want it to go?
What's the vision?
Yeah, so, right now, as you said, we're offering direct services and really focused here on the city of Milwaukee. And Milwaukee is going to kind of be the heartbeat of what we do and driving force for what we do next. But, we'll always continue to take pride in being in Milwaukee and trying to build a platform for success for our partners and community of Milwaukee. But we also want to have the opportunity to share our curriculum and programming across the country. I know that's down the road, but, I believe that what we have going on is very impactful and can be a change agent across the country. So, as we continue to work here in Wisconsin, Milwaukee specifically, and build upon our program, we look forward to having an opportunity to also be able to offer a national program that will be used across the country and impact kids everywhere.
And lastly, to both of y'all, what does Peak Team mean to you? Why do you guys want to be a part of this, and what's your pitch to everyone who is in the future hopefully going to join us as well?
I'll go first. Peak Team for me, to me it feels like Peak Team means family for me because the people I work with, we're passionate on the mission and vision that we for Peak Team to help kids achieve their goal of being successful and dealing with stress, being a trauma-free community. And we've had great mentors and people who believe in us, empower us to do great things that we're passionate about in the community. Being someone born in Milwaukee, I've seen a lot of negative things. A lot of kids dealing with trauma, and being a change agent in the Milwaukee area is very important for me. And so that's what Peak Team is doing and making an impact right away. So action oriented, but yeah, one word would be family.
Yeah, I would echo everything that JP said, and also just say, it all comes back to building relationships with partners, members of the community, and obviously the kids that we work with. We try to preach having a safe, positive, empowering environment where kids have the opportunity to build trust with the Peak Team coaches and staff, because I think that at the end of the day, as JP mentioned, being change agents, that's how we get that done. Our curriculum, I believe, is a transformative model that can be used in so many different ways to create change, and that's what we're all about. And so, one of the things that we talk about is our formula that we use is visibility plus accessibility equals opportunity. And we think that, by us being out offering services, meeting with people, interacting with people, and continuing to grow our model, we're able to put that formula into place.
Great stuff, guys. It's been really fun working with you guys. Like JP said, it feels like a family, and Brandon, like you said, great opportunities. It's been honestly great work, and it doesn't even feel like work. A lot of times it feels like it's just a natural thing that we want to do, and I feel our entire team fits that. I think that comes from Brandon's leadership of wanting. I mean, he left Indy to come to Milwaukee just to start this up for us.
I did, and it's there is no sleep, right? We don't get much sleep. It's always work, even when it's not work, because we're always thinking about the next best thing that we can try to create to really help and create change. And so, again, just really appreciate you guys inviting me, especially on the first episode.
We had to start it big,
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. And
we had to start it off with, what's your height again?
My height?
Yeah.
I'm like 6'7.5", a little change,
So we had to start it off with probably going to be our tallest guest, unless we can hopefully one day grab an NBA player.
That'd
Hopefully
be cool with me.
one from our background here from Milwaukee.
Yeah, that'd be cool with me. So, yeah, I appreciate it again, and, we'll keep making these episodes. You guys did a great job, and I look forward to coming back on the show here soon.
All right.
Yep. Well, we appreciate it, guys. And in the future, we're going to have some other great guests as well, and it's going to give you guys a lot of great information. And we look forward to creating this peakcast for not just this season, but hopefully many, many more. And I'll let JP give the last words on it.
Yeah, last words is what's our slogan again?
Visibility plus accessibility equals opportunity.
So, we're giving you guys this resource to be trauma informed when you listen to our peakcast. So, thanks, Dr. Currie, for coming. I think that's a wrap.
Strive 365 coming at you live. Out. Once again, want to thank all the viewers and listeners for tuning in to our first ever episode of the peakcast. Very excited that me and JP were able to kick this off and started off with none other than our founder and CEO, Dr. Brandon J. Currie. We're hoping that you guys were able to learn a lot about his success and the path that he took to reach where he is now, but more importantly about how he's going to make a big difference towards the community of Milwaukee, but he doesn't stop there. He's going to continue to grow all over the nation, and Strive 365, we're going to grow. Tune in next week. We have another great guest coming on, Dr. Danielle Winston, who is our child psychiatrist. She is going to provide you guys with a fountain of knowledge, especially going to talk about how the issues of COVID have really changed the mental health area and how everyone is going to be impacted, but we're going to get through this and we're going to adjust. So stay tuned and excited to do another one for you guys.